Thank you for joining us on this journey as we navigate through a three-part webinar series. In the first session, you learned about electronic signatures and what makes it legal. In today's session, we will be diving into the world of hybrids and full digital closings. Remember to stay tuned for our third and final session, where we will wrap up the digital closing series by discussing specifics of remote online notaries. In session 1, we went through the laws that set the foundation for digital closings. There's UEDA, the Uniform Electronic Transaction Act, which allows for document signers and notaries to electronically sign documents with any electronic sound, symbol, or process that they intend to be their legal electronic signature. Then we looked at eSign, the electronic signature in Global and National Commerce Act. eSign was created to remove barriers to electronic commerce for interstate and international financial transactions. eSign also details the requirements for electronic notarization. eSign's provision overlaps significantly with UEDA and is designed to coexist with UEDA's rules, regulations, and requirements. And lastly, UPRA, the Uniform Real Property Electronic Recording Act. UPRA further clarifies the authority of recording officials to receive, record, and retrieve electronic land records and information. F&F Underwriting approves the use of electronic signatures provided we obtain the appropriate permissions from all parties to the transaction. When we discuss electronic signatures, we inevitably come across the topic of electronic notarization. Electronic notarization, or e-notarization, is essentially the same as paper notarization, except the executed document is in digital form and the notary signs with an electronic signature. Each individual state may have specific legislation and regulations governing electronic notarizations. This type of e-notarization still requires the document signer and the notary public be physically present in the same location. Opposite of that, there's Remote Online Notary, also known as RON. RON makes use of video and audio technology over an internet connection, allowing the signers to personally appear before and communicate with the notary public at the time of executing the document without being in the same physical location. Only a couple of states, currently Virginia and Montana, allow their commissioned notaries to remotely notarize documents. Texas is scheduled to be added to this list by the third quarter of 2018. This brings us to today's topic, where we will be taking a look at hybrid digital closings versus full digital closings. Let's talk about hybrid closings. A hybrid closing requires you to print key documents and obtain wet signatures, including any documents executed by a notary public. Typically, the promissory note, affidavits, declarations, security instruments, and/or deeds fall into this category. The remainder of the package is then electronically signed. Even with a few wet signed documents, this method has proven to be an efficient alternative to a full paper closing. The hybrid workflow is similar to a traditional closing. However, the lender provides a link to access the digital package. Escrow will print the wet signed documents for the closing appointment. The hybrid package is signed, notarized, and uploaded. The lender will review the completed digital package and fund the loan. In comparison, a full digital closing occurs when all documents, including the promissory note and security instruments, are digitally created, e-signed, e-notarized, and e-recorded. This is still the case whether the documents are notarized during a face-to-face meeting or a remote online session. Full digital closings consist of several components, and each has its own set of requirements. The digital closing package must be tamper-sealed after the signatures are executed, along with the complete audit trail. This ensures the validity of the signed and executed set of documents. There's the e-note. This is also known as a digital mortgage or e-mortgage and refers to the digital version of the signed promissory note. The eVault is the electronic storage for e-notes. This digital vault enables the lenders to securely provide certification, storage, and status reporting for electronically created and electronically signed mortgages. The requirements of an eVault includes the ability to properly register the eNote with MERS and vaults the eNote to protect the authoritative copy, the ability to generate legally admissible copies for use in a court of law, the ability to transfer e-notes to other vaults, the ability to export the authoritative copy to paper and permanently destroy the copy within the lender's vault, and provide reports with real-time document audit trails. The concept of the digital vault or e-vault is most applicable to the lender servicing and secondary markets. Lastly, there's e-recording. E-recording is a process of submitting digital documents for recording online and having them reviewed, recorded, and returned back to the submitter electronically. E-recording offers a legally binding way to record real estate documents with fewer errors. The full digital workflow is essentially the same as hybrid with one exception. All of the digital documents are signed electronically, including the note and notarized documents. This will prove to be an even faster, more efficient way of completing the closing package with our customers. It wasn't until August 2015 when the CFPB completed a study on the benefits of digital closings. Their findings from the government-sponsored pilot put digital closings back on the fast track. The study sparked interest for new technology and legislation and has provided new momentum for adoption. What we are discovering is digital closing provides a more efficient way to do business. We, as a company, are helping our customers to have a better understanding how technology can best serve them while creating a culture of consumer empowerment. Digital closings are not a new concept and have been around since the early 2000s. Adoption has been slow due to the lack of technology and the willingness of various parties to participate. Stay tuned for further developments as we are seeing rapid growth and changes both in available technology and the rules governing this technology. Thank you for attending Session 2 of the Digital Closings 101. Please be sure to catch our third and final webinar of the series where we'll discuss everything you need to know about remote online notaries. Please stay on the line for a brief Q&A. Make sure you type your questions in the question box. And time permitting, we will answer them live or follow up with an email response.